back. Russian President Vladimir Putin threatening military action over the weekend if the West, does not agree to his security demands. Putin has called on NATO to deny Ukraine and other former Soviet countries membership and to roll back military deployments in Central and Eastern Europe. So how serious is the threat? Former Deputy Defense Undersecretary Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin joins me now. Lieutenant General, wonderful to see you today. I'll start right there. How serious is the threat? Because many folks are saying they're looking at Putin right now, looking at the United States and saying, we're under weak leadership here. This is the perfect time to pounce.
Yeah, absolutely. Putin, as well as the rest of the world, watched the debacle in Afghanistan. He's watched our leadership decline in terms of real strength and real resolve. And just think in terms of what did it say to Putin when we agreed to lift the sanctions and allow him to build the Nord Stream pipeline, while we were asking the Saudis to provide more resources for us. Look, here's one thing that we need to remember, though. This is not just an American problem. This is a European problem. And the Europeans have to be very much involved in how we approach this and what actions we take.
And there's going to be a Zoom call, some sort of conference call between Putin and Biden next week. And my understanding is that ahead of that, Putin has withdrawn about 10,000 troops from the Ukraine border, but he's still got a very heavy presence there, approximately 90,000 more. So some are saying this is all smoke and mirrors ahead of that conversation.
Well, I wish that were the case. And nobody really knows what Putin's intentions are, but we do have to take this seriously. But keep in mind also that the Ukraine is really a buffer between the West and Russia. And Putin wants, more than anything, he wants to rebuild the previous Soviet Union. Now, it could never be the same because we've already integrated several countries into NATO. But what he does not want to see is he does not want to see NATO coming any closer to his borders. He does feel the pressure. He feels that NATO is a threat to him. And let's be honest, NATO was created for just that purpose, to be a counter to Russia.
And essentially, it could be also said that, no, I mean, the status will never be the same, but that this is one way for Russia to try to regain its geopolitical relevance within the global space right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind also, in 2014, America did nothing when Crimea was annexed by Russia, and they're still there. So he has, I think, every reason to believe, especially given our weak leadership in America right now, and I would say even in Europe, there are some weak leadership there as well. I think that he would see this as an opportune time to do the same thing for Ukraine as a whole. What we, though, as a nation have to do is I think the president needs to immediately reimpose the sanctions on the Nord Stream pipeline. And he needs to find out exactly what the Ukraine believes that they have to have. And we need to start arming them with lethal weapons and materiel that will ensure that this will not be a simple takeover like it was in Crimea. You need to remember, we all need to remember, that the reason the Russians ultimately left Afghanistan was because Russians were being killed there. Russians were being sent home in body bags, and no one could explain to the people of Russia, to the moms and dads that were receiving their sons on the way home, nobody could explain why they were there, what their objectives were, and when would the war be over. So we need to give Ukraine as much lethal material as they can take.
We're going to be watching this story very closely, and we will have you on again to discuss it as it progresses. Thank you so much for your time today, sir.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.